Epstein Island? No. Believe the science? No. 15-minute cities? No. And CBDCs? No. Gates is good? No. And GMO food? No. Big Pharma wants help? No. And government's help? No. We ain't asking anymore. We ain't asking anymore. We ain't asking anymore. We ain't asking anymore.
What's up, everybody? Good evening. Sorry, the clocks, the clocks changed and it messes me all up, but my guest called me and reminded me that we're supposed to start right now. I actually had this stream set for an hour from now, but I made it right. I've got special guests with us tonight. We're going to discuss Launchpads and how to properly launch projects. If you have ideas, if you're looking for another way to make some money, what we are going to discuss tonight is something you're going to want to pay attention to. So without further ado, I bring aboard Senor Mark from the Forge, Curator Forge. Welcome, sir.
Hello, good morning. Thanks for that empowering intro.
Yeah, well, it's hardcore. I'll probably be updating it every few months to go along with the current news cycle and things like that, because Nope is that the big middle finger to everyone who's trying to tell us what to do all the time. So I'm just that's what we're all about here. Mark, I've launched over 40 crypto projects in my time. I've been part of multiple more with referral programs and helping doing raises by just writing articles. My most famous one will be Aave. I was part of the writing articles for Aave pre-launch when they did their ICO. Horizon Zen, it used to be called Zencash, and then it became Zen, then now it's Horizon. I was there, I was with Epic Cash, and these are just ones that are still around, that are still within the crypto ecosystems. And my big thing that I went through was that the majority, you're going to say 90% or so, fail. And there's small businesses that fail. And we've also seen the different launch pads over the years, and most of them don't do well either. It's just garbage that comes through the launch pads. So I've seen what you guys are doing. I was introduced by my friend Firestarter. He reached out to me and said, "Randy, you really got to check this Curator Forge." I checked it out. I'm like, holy crap. So go ahead, introduce yourself, tell us what Curator Forge is, and then we'll start breaking down the pieces as we go.
Fantastic. Yeah, thanks a lot for that intro. My name's Mark. I'm a Swiss. I studied economics at the London School of Economics, and I've been living in Thailand now for about 20 years with my wife and 2 daughters. I've ran a few successful businesses in the last 20 years. My favorite is a social media business with which we've reached about 8 million followers across many different countries and platforms, and generate about 2 billion organic views, very mental health and education focused channels. And more recently, we started Curator, which is a decentralized crypto review platform that we've built for about 2 years, ran for about a year now, have reviewed over 900 crypto projects. And that led us into now the Forge, which I'm so excited about, which is a decentralized launchpad and incubator that I'm hoping will fix a lot of the things you mentioned in your intro, and give a lot of better chances for startups to succeed, and also make it much more profitable for investors to invest and support these startups. I think the really revolutionary part is the decentralized review mechanism that we have. Because I think one of the main problems that you described here, that all these launch pads and VCs and the whole infrastructure has that invests in projects, is that they don't have a lot of capacity to review projects and vet them. what many people don't know, but there's over 1 million active crypto startups right now, and actually that's a number that the head of AWS Web3 fund told me in the bear market like a half a year ago, So in the bull market, it goes even crazier. There's so many people out there.
Absolutely. I mean, like with Note Token, I wasn't on that list. I just started it one day.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it's so, and most of these launchpads, they have maybe a couple of analysts, and you cannot, how much time it takes to go through a project. So even the big ones, they might have 20 analysts or something, but there's nowhere near enough to go through thousands of projects per day. So it's very hard for them to pick to find the best projects. And what's so revolutionary about our platform is that we already have dozens of analysts on the platform. We can host hundreds and eventually thousands of analysts that collaboratively review all these projects and find the best ones. On top of that, there's an incubation process where we help the projects get better and so forth. But I think this collaborative, massive approach is really what makes a difference.
Absolutely. And before you go any further, I mean, I want to say something, because the title here was, the fighting amongst Pulsechain and everyone going at each other's throats. I think if we collaborated and we put together the best projects going forward through our efforts together, we could just build absolutely amazing projects that are going to bring in lots of attention to Pulsechain. So, I'm tired of the toxicity that's going on. And I think what you guys are doing is it's going to coalesce us together and help build a stronger network.
Yeah, thank you. I don't hear the toxicity so much as when I go on streams. I don't know, maybe it's the people that I talk with, like you, Pulse Ray Vision is always super positive about everything. And many of the other guys. So yeah, I'm very excited to see all of them. And many of them are already on our review board, right? So the first stage of the Forge will not be completely open yet to everyone in the community. It will first be the hand-selected analysts. And you're going to be part of that group, right?
Yep.
We have Pulse Ray Vision, we have the DGen Roundtable, even Maddie Allen said he can be part of it. So we have a lot of people, and there's many more. I won't list all of them, right? But everyone has been very, very positive and very excited to start getting the first projects through.
Yeah, I'm thrilled. There's different ways of doing it. Obviously, I went through and I just bought a bunch of the NFTs. That's what's currently running. Could you go through the sale right now of the NFTs,
yes,
and how that works, and what's that money supporting? What's going on with that?
Yeah, so the NFT sale, so that is really a core aspect of the platform, what makes everything work. I put the domain, we just changed yesterday to a separate domain. You can see there my name, it's forgenfts.com.
Yep.
So the NFTs are core of the platform. They really enable a lot of this decentralized review process, and you can buy them. We have 5,555 NFTs. That will be the all-time cap. You want me to show the website quickly?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Share screen.
Oh, okay. I got to add it. You ready? Let me know when you have it. There we go.
Got it up, yeah. Okay, so you can see up here forgenfts.com. That's
nice.
A new link. Yeah, very to the point. Make sure to have the S in there, NFTs. So these are the NFTs over here, and you can see the video cut together. You can see some of these NFTs. You can also see the artist, who's a very, very popular artist, who's been here in Thailand. He covered the whole SkyTrain is in his art. He has been building walls in Germany covered in his art. He's worked with Intel. So we got a very cool artist doing this.
Cool.
Here you can see some of the actual NFTs. Again, there's 5,555 of them. And now about the utility. So the more of these NFTs you hold, the more power you wield over the ecosystem. So we're not a centralized entity, it's a decentralized entity. And so the more power you wield, but also the more rewards you get. If you hold these NFTs in your wallet, you're going to get airdrops of all the tokens that launch through the platform. You will just get airdropped into your wallet. So you can kind of passively sit back and wait for some of them to take off and then take your profits. So that's one aspect of it. But the other aspect is you are going to get Cure tokens, which is the token of the platform, airdropped to you for every month for the first year. And you'll need these tokens if you want to be more of an active investor in the platform, if you want to invest big sums into some of the projects that come through. So you'll need to lock up the tokens, and the more tokens you have locked up, the bigger your allocations will be that you can get in these projects. The problem also on other launchpads is that those projects that people expect to be the most profitable, it's usually hard to get any allocations in them. So that's why these allocations usually go to those people who locked up the most tokens.
Okay.
There's also a lot of. Do you have any questions about that, the locking up part?
No, not at all. I actually get it pretty well. If you guys have it in the chat, if you got a question about it, just feel free to say something.
So where was I? There's these NFTs and the tokens. They play a very big role also in the management of the platform and engaging and reviewing and all of these kind of things. But purely from an investor standpoint, the NFTs give you this kind of passive income of a smaller percentage of all the tokens that come through, and locking up tokens allows you to make more strategic and much bigger investments. The sale is going on right now. So you can see here we have different tranches. We started out at $100 per NFT, and we're up now to $130 per NFT. You can just send the funds directly to this address, and then we will airdrop you the NFTs. I can't give exact dates yet, but we're planning to very soon, in a matter of weeks, move to a minting app, as we're also launching the first version of the Forge platform in the coming weeks. We have a very big partnership with WoW Summit, which is happening in about 10 days. We just reviewed over 30. I'm quickly going to show you this.
Good, please.
I'm sorry. There we go, WoW Summit. So they had over 200 startups join their competition, and our analysts reviewed the top 30 startups that they picked. So these are the ratings that they got. Each one of them got at least 3 reviews, so you can go in and you can read them. This is also the example of how the reviews will be on the Forge. What was I going to say? Yeah, exactly. So we are going to the WoW Summit in a couple of weeks, and we're going to onboard a lot of projects there. And I think many of them are going to be very excited to come to the Forge and potentially raise funds.
So let's let me get the branding out of here. As far as those of us who participated in this isn't just all Pulsechain, is it? You guys are going to have all kinds of projects from all different EVMs and other blockchains, right?
Yes, exactly. So maybe I can quickly go through the process. I'm just going to stop the screen share here, and we can look at it again later. But so there's 4 steps that we go through when the project comes through this platform. And the first step is getting the projects, and that's where we work with a lot of partners across the entire industry. WoW Summit is a big partner where we've worked with for a year now, and a lot of projects come in through there. And these projects, they haven't picked an ecosystem yet or very often, right? We also work with Pro, which is a big market maker. We work with several incubators, other launchpads. One of our partners is BSC Station, which is in terms of activity, is one of the top 5 launchpads in the world. So a lot of projects come in from this million that there is, right? They come through all these partners that need our review engine.
Okay.
That's the first step. The second step is then that they choose to come to the Forge to do fundraising, which is how they enter into the Pulsechain ecosystem. And there we have our process of, out of these thousands of projects that apply, we want to find the top 1 or maybe even the top 1.1%, right, that really flow to the top. And then the third process, that's what we're setting up now, is a roadshow where we take these top 1% and we present them to the entire community, grow a community for them, and get their investment going. And here we're collaborating with you, right? With Discourse Syndicate, which we'll announce on Wednesday on the stream there, with Pulse Ray Vision, Crypto Sloth, DChain Roundtable, many more, Desktop, many more that we have lined up. So these top projects, once they're reviewed, they'll go every day, one boom, 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 one stream after another to get big, right? That's the third step. And the fourth step is that people don't just invest directly into the project. It's not like a sacrifice where you throw your money at projects and they can run away. We have a smart contract system, or we're building a smart contract system where the funds will go into that smart contract. The projects will have to set milestones that they have to achieve, and they only get the funds step by step as they achieve the milestones. And
okay, so like a roadmap that they have to do, and
yes,
complete different things, milestones, and then get the little piece of money. Boom, boom, boom. I love that. It's great.
Exactly, and if they don't achieve it, they can stop. That the money can be returned to the investors, and that's just one example of what will be done with NFTs. For example, people can vote to block these funds and return them. That's just one of the important factors. So just in summary, I think we've gotten through the presentation basically. In summary, the really revolutionary part is that we have a much bigger capacity to review and find the best projects and support these projects. And not only that, also when we then invest in the projects, we have a way to custody the funds much safer and return remaining funds if a project cannot deliver.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. And I love the fact that we can actually just use our voting power and say, okay, you guys aren't quite living up to what you said you're going to do. We're going to pull the funds back, and they could probably regain them, right? If they start to show that they're
the funds. So it's going to be a smart contract, although these things are very difficult to build and they have to be very secure. So we might start first with the custody version and then kind of move into the smart contracts. But yes, it's going to be like that, where inactivity triggers a certain alarm. Then people can vote. The funds will first get frozen. Then the project can show that they are still active. They can make a case that they still need the money. And only after a few steps, the funds actually get returned.
That's beautiful. I think that's what we really need. I could think of a couple of projects that this would have been really good for that are now, in my opinion, failing, and they didn't have to fail. They got too much money up front, and now they're not delivering. Whereas if they would have gotten the money dripped, they'd have been motivated. The carrot there, yes. Say, come and get it, come get your carrot, and they got to come work for it. And then after it's all completed, after all the reviews and everything's launched, then their tokens go live. And those of us who were in there reviewing, we're getting a little bit of tokens, and the people that got the NFTs are getting a little bit of tokens. Obviously, the Forge gets their percentage. I think it puts a lot of skin in the game, where everyone's involved from the launch of a token.
Yes, exactly. And it's not just projects that are failing. It's especially also like proper rug pulls and scams that we want to basically eliminate. The Forge is an ecosystem. It's a network of things that other providers can plug into. We have a partnership with Maddie Allen's Time Pays Me. So projects can use his contract. Time Pays Me is a contract where they can lock up their founder tokens, team tokens, marketing tokens, all that stuff. And then they only get them drip fed over time. So that means they don't have tokens available to rug pull, to dump on the DEX and remove the liquidity. And we expect that projects will only get a good rating from the analysts if they plan to use that contract. And in terms of the achievements, that can be one of the steps for them to unlock more funds, is that they've actually locked up their tokens so they can't rug pull.
Beautiful.
We're also talking to some DEXs to directly connect with them. So the IDO liquidity would get directly from the smart contract to the DEX. So there's never actually in the custody of the project. So step by step, we're adding more services to the ecosystem that protects the investors.
All right. So it sounds to me like a decentralized VC platform where all the VCs are little folks, and anywhere from maybe $50 investment all the way up to thousands, $100,000, whatever. Which in the old world, that was impossible.
Yes. No, exactly. That's exactly what it is. I think also what gets me really excited, and that's more for the other founders who are maybe listening, is that you can start a project much earlier in the ideation process, I guess. When you just have an idea, this is what I think should happen, you can submit it to the Forge, and you can then develop that project together with the community. Very often we've seen that some of the reviewers really like a project and actually join the project. And that's a huge difficulty for so many people, is to grow a team, a capable team. And when you have, Pulsechain has thousands of community members, many of them are builders and some of them are hobbyists. Everyone has their talents. So it's a huge pool that you can draw talent from. And the Forge enables that as well.
Well, let's speak to that, because we did talk about it yesterday. I told you my experience. I was trying to launch a social media project back in 2018. My main investor gave me like $60,000 that my partner custodied, and we went to work trying to build this platform. And we went through 4 different sets of devs over the course of 3 years, and no one was able to take what I imagined and get it done. I had the marketing, I had all that on point, everything was ready. The deck, you look at the slide deck, everything it was great, but nobody could take my ideas and put it in code, and it was really frustrating. And my partner was a dev himself; he just wasn't the type of dev I needed. So I ended up giving my money back to my investor, and just said, you know what? I'm not going to do this right now. It's too complicated. I didn't have a Launchpad like this back then. If I had something like this, I definitely would have taken advantage of it.
Yeah,
for sure.
No, that's what I hope. And it's also, so many people don't know what it means to start a project, right? You have an idea, think, oh, I have an idea, this will work, and then implement, and boom, and that's absolutely not what it is. The idea is just a very small percentage, the first 1-2% or something. The implementation is 100 times more difficult than what people imagine. And the idea usually changes a lot along the way. You need to adjust to what people actually want and what actually works. And feedback is an extremely important factor in this, to hear from people. Does this work? Do you guys want this or not? And that's what the Forge enables at a much earlier part in the process. So many teams, they create their decks and they assemble their teams and they spend a lot of money going to present everywhere, only to hear, no, I don't want this. This is stupid, and then they fail, having spent a lot of time and money. Here, you can just go online. You can, Andrik, he runs the Spanish section of Discord Syndicate. He's a big streamer as well. And he has had an idea for a platform that basically counters, or how you call that, the patent model, where you can store ideas on chain, and that kind of publishes them, and people can also rate and review these ideas, stuff like that. He's been having this idea in his head for a few years. He's written a white paper, sent it to Richard Hart. So he's really excited about this, but hasn't been able to start with
found
it.
a place to it.
Exactly. So on the Forge, he can just post this white paper, and then let's see who else gets excited about this and come together.
Absolutely. We're all going to be able to get in there and review. And I was telling people, well, let's shift a little bit to how to make this. If you're not doing a project, and you just want to be a reviewer, how can that be lucrative? What are the different parts of that to make money as a reviewer?
Yes, so you will need to get a couple of NFTs because you will need to lock some tokens up, but probably, let's say, somewhere 2 to 4 NFTs will be enough for that, because we need to be able to slash you if you misbehave, right? So you need to, you need to have
that's about $500 worth of NFTs,
something like that. Yes, depends on how early you get them.
Yeah.
But, yes, so you need to lock up some of the tokens that you get through the NFTs. And now the better you are, basically, the more money you will make. We have a system where you get points for various actions, for writing reviews, for getting what we call super upvotes on the platform. And the super upvotes are really important. Those are limited. I'm going to share my screen again to show how it actually looks. So this is the Curator platform, but of course later this will all be in the Forge. The difference between Curator is that Curator is for public projects that have already launched, and the Forge is for projects that are looking to raise funds. So I'm just gonna go here. Let's see if we have. So this is a project that's one of the first kind of projects that came for fundraising on the platform. You can see here that this had maybe about 20, 30 reviews written on it, and it's ranked by the amount of votes, super upvotes that it gets. So the most popular review up here, you see, got 8 super upvotes, 3 upvotes, and 16 comments. The more super upvotes you get, the more points you get. And by getting these points, you will get a share of all the tokens that come through the platform. When a project comes through the platform, they offer percentage of their tokens. It can be 1%, it can be 5%, it can be 50%, if it wants to be a really community-built project. And those tokens get shared over the people who hold the NFTs, over the people who lock up tokens, so that's the investors, and over the people who write the reviews. So the more super upvotes you get, the bigger share of those tokens you will get. And it's the share of all the tokens. So again, you can just sit back and wait for some of them to really take off and then take your profits.
I foresee this as something you just turn into a job, and you post your reviews, and you have your NFTs, and maybe not this cycle, but the next cycle, you just rake it in.
Well, I'm hoping already this cycle, this is already built, there's just some of these tools get modified a little bit for the Forge and more Pulsechain specific, but this is already built. We are going to get the first, we already have the first projects submitted to the Forge. We're going to launch version 1 in a matter of weeks. We're going to get a lot of projects on board from Wow Summit, from many of the other partners that we have. So hopefully this is going to be something that can make you money very soon. And launchpads are generally very hot now. Projects are launching left and right. A lot of money is being raised, and I think this is going to be the platform that creates the most successful projects. One of the aspects here is that as an analyst, you're going to earn more the better you are. This review here, just to give you a little bit of a thing here, this guy has edited his review. Here you can see all the edit history, maybe 8 times, right? So he's really worked on this. He studied the project. He's had AMAs with the project, and he's improved this. And then as a result, everyone said, hey, this is a really good review. So it's only the best reviewers that will actually end up surviving in the platform. And that's the reason we will be able to identify the best projects in the market, because we have this mechanism to identify the best reviewers and incentivize them.
I'm loving it.
Should I stop sharing, or you have any questions here on the screen that you want to see?
Okay, so who are the super votes from?
So that's going to change a little bit. Until now, this was from other analysts. You can see here I have 6 remaining. These are limited upvotes. But on the Forge, it will be the investors. So the more tokens people lock up, the more super upvotes they get. And when they give them out, they get some benefits. They get some additional tokens. They get bigger allocations. So if the investors interact, they also benefit. And this is very important. How you call it, like a separation of power. It's almost a little bit like the government that you don't like, but we separate power over this platform between the analysts and the investors and the NFT holders. So if a project wanted to, scam the community, they would need to bribe the analysts, many of them, to write good reviews. Sorry, just jumping back, to write good reviews about them. But then they would also need to bribe the investors to super upvote these reviews for them to have any weight, because the project, the review that is down here at the very bottom doesn't have any upvotes. It carries very, very, very little weight. So to get a good rating and raise a lot of money and then run away, they would have to bribe all these people. But this is where the NFTs come in. If the NFTs holders see that and see, hey, wait a minute, you're screwing with our platform, which will destroy the value, they can come in and vote to remove the analysts and the investors who upvoted reviews that they think are fraudulent. So that's how all of this interplays to make sure that we curate the best reviews on the best project on the platform.
Beautiful, beautiful. I'm loving this. Look, since the moment I saw it, I've been around Launchpads for a long time. I never participated. I didn't like it because it was usually one person at the top making all the decisions. Oh, this project, they were probably getting paid on the other side, 10% of the tokens or something to put it into the Launchpad. I thought it was a really dishonest practice. But because you guys are doing it in a decentralized fashion, I'm pumped. Because look, I got 400 and something members in my Patreon, 400 and something members. All these people have been around crypto now for a few years. They understand the basics of crypto. Maybe 2, 3, 4% of them come in. So you're talking about maybe 20 people, 15, 20 people. They come over to the Forge and they bring their insight over to the Forge to help perfect these tokens before they launch. So if you come out and you have this really good token idea, and then say you make it where the smart contract cannot be adjusted, you launch it and boom, it's stuck like that. You've got a broken contract. It doesn't work properly. Well, if you would have gone through the Forge, people would have looked at these things. Maybe if I was a dev, I could look at your code and said, hey, bro, there's a mistake here. You might want to fix that. Or you got marketing going out, obviously, because I'm a marketer. You're going to launch in your project and you don't even have a YouTube channel and your graphics are terrible. I'm going to tell you, look, man, your logo stinks. Your logo's not going to get any attention, and that's the kind of stuff that I would say, right? I'll be sticking on I'll stay in my lane. I'm not going to try to go be a dev. I'm not going to try to be a token economics person. I'll stay in my lane and I will provide the benefit I think where I can help the teams up best. If that makes sense.
No, exactly. I already, let me share again, because that's exactly how it is set up. So we have different categories for reviewing. And if we go back to this project, am I sharing my screen?
No. Oh, yeah, I have to add it.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, so if we go back to this project here, you can see that the reviews are actually different categories. So you have the idea category.
I didn't see that. Okay.
Yeah. So this guy, he's a top writer on Medium for tokenomics. He gets 10,000 monthly views on his tokenomics stuff. So he gets hired a lot by the projects. He writes them, and it's just as you say. Very often they have in their tokenomics 30% for the team, and then he goes and tells them, hey, are you crazy? You can't take 30% for a team. And he's like, oh, okay, good, thanks for the information. No one told me, and then they put it down to 5% or something. So it's just very simple things that sometimes people don't know because they don't have an expert on every single field in their team.
Exactly.
And
they just assume that 30% is fair.
Yeah, they didn't even think about it too much because they're focusing on the important parts of their business, which they are passionate about, right? Whatever that is, and building the products and these kind of things. So you can't expect people to know everything about everything. So to have a community of hundreds of people who, you see this guy writes just on community, and then here you see one on marketing. So to have several people come in and write their feedback on marketing, and then something being upvoted as, yes, this is the most important thing that you have to focus on. It almost gives the project a roadmap of what they have to implement. And then when they do that, when they implement it, their ratings improve. And this is our very decentralized, natural incubation method, where they get all the best inputs from so many different community members. And we mix into this different AMAs, the projects can, as you see that a project gets popular and everyone's working and everyone's excited that this is going to make a lot of money, be very successful. As that's happening, we can invite them to more AMAs, that the analysts talk together with the project. There's a lot of ideas flowing back and forth. So it's a very big process where we can support these projects to be very, very successful.
All right, let's talk about the elephant. Let's say what Luna said. Will there be a template for reviewing? That's a good question, because a lot of people, maybe they're not used to doing this style reviewing. It's kind of, in my opinion, you pick one thing that you care about, and it could be just a couple sentences long. There's no real template. It's your ideas, and you're putting down your ideas of how this project could be better. But yeah, I'm sure there could be a template.
There's not really templates, but there is tutorials. So actually, if you go right now, and all of these things will be a little bit adjusted for the Forge, because it's a different type of projects that we review. But if you go to apply here, this is how you can currently become an analyst. And you see there is a tutorial page.
Oh, okay.
So you can go and watch these videos, how to get signed up, how to write good reviews. This is more for regular projects, how to write status updates for projects and things like that. But this will be expanded a lot for the Forge type analysts, where we just educate a lot. We have weekly roundtables and AMAs with analysts. So it's just a constant education of everyone, and everyone improving together. There's also a lot of learning going on when you write reviews, because as you see here, there's a lot of comments from the other analysts, from the investors, from the project owners. So people just generally improve by doing. I just want to show quickly here how it looks. This, when you write a review, see we have different types of reviews. You would write a regular review. You can then basically pick your project, select the category if you want to say, okay, I'm going to do on marketing. You can even write on your own project, but then you have to kind of disable the rating. But yeah, so you come in, you say, and then you just write your opinion, and you can say, I don't like the logo, I think it's going to turn everyone off. And that sometimes is a big, important feedback, so it's really more people giving their opinions, because that's also what matters so much. In the end, these projects want to sell tokens, or they want to have customers who want to buy tokens and things like that. So these opinions, how people perceive the project, is very, very important. So for you to come in and just say, what do you think? It's extremely valuable feedback for the project.
Yeah, and people are going to have to, and people on these projects are going to have thick skin, because I know how easy it can be to get offended, but yes, these reviewers know their stuff. And, if someone's got 30 years experience doing a certain thing and you have no experience in it, and you went and made something on Fiverr, and they come out and say, that's not a very good idea, maybe you should change that. And then you get all defensive, like, no, this is how we're going to do it. And then your reputation goes, yeah,
exactly.
It's not a very good idea.
So what you just mentioned is a big problem, but we've already reviewed over 100 projects in this program, and learned a lot how we actually help the analysts how to write in a way that is easier for the projects to absorb. And we have whole documents written out how the projects can take this feedback on board better. And this here is the biggest problem that we found, is there's a huge cliff between projects and investors and analysts, because the investors have spent thousands of hours with their project. So what founders want to say is this massive thing here, and they usually want to say everything, right? And then the analysts or the investors come in and to say, I don't like it because this or that. And then the founders say, well, you've only looked at 1% of what I have. You didn't read my entire white paper and all of this documentation I have. Sometimes they say, oh, everything is transparent on chain, right? But you cannot expect analysts or investors to spend hours or days or weeks analyzing your project. No. You actually have to expect them to spend 15 minutes, kind of tops, So what our process enables is for the two to communicate, to find what they both, what is interesting to both of them. And if you can do that as a project, if you can say the thing that people actually want to hear, that you care about and they care about as well, that's the most important step you can take towards success, because that's what you actually then have to build on and develop.
Absolutely. So, speaking of investors, one of the things that I've thought of that maybe some other folks have not thought of is the fact that you guys are in Asia and you're focused, you're doing a lot of stuff in Asia. One of the problems I find with the Pulsechain ecosystem is that we are Europe, US, Canada centric. So we have the European and the American, Canadian money, and there's a bunch of Australians too, but we have a real disconnect with Asia. I don't see any projects from Asian teams. I don't see, at least I haven't heard of any Asian money coming over. And maybe Forge is that bridge that brings the two together, because you guys are doing stuff in Hong Kong, you're doing stuff in Thailand. I imagine you'll do shows in Korea, Dubai, in Japan, China. I think this could be that little extra key that helps us open up a world of opportunity for Pulsechain. And I haven't heard anybody talk about it yet, because right now, frankly, we're on our little island by ourselves, and the Asians, where all this freaking money is, it's just over there, and we're not tapping into it at all. So I'm hoping that we can we can find a way to start bringing those projects in, and I want to be part of those projects because I have a feeling they're going to do very well. This is a way for me to have them vetted before I go put money into them.
I think I agree. I think this is a huge opportunity. So one example, what many people don't know, is that Vietnam is the biggest country in terms of crypto adoption. Over 20%, over 20% of Vietnamese own crypto. Wow. So it's a massive adoption over there, and the market is very different. There's a lot of gaming going on. There's a lot of NFTs. There's a lot of it's fun. Like crypto is really, really fun in Thailand as well. I mean, Thailand, I don't know who knows Thailand, but Thais can make everything fun. That's basically what they do, So crypto here is very fun, very gamey, very like boom, boom, boom. It's everywhere. And I think that's a lot of that energy can be brought into the US, hopefully, and into Pulsechain. Pulsechain, I think, is already one of the most fun ecosystems, I think. Where some of the other like Binance and stuff like that, it's almost becoming a little bit corporate, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely.
Of course, that more business mindset that Americans have, I think to bring that back into areas like Vietnam or Korea is massive in crypto, right? And Korea is quite rich. So to have some of that more business savvy knowledge come back into Asia would be very very powerful there as well. And Dubai now, Dubai and Hong Kong especially, they are becoming very, very crypto friendly. So while the US kind of is pushing pushing crypto away, right? Especially Hong Kong has made a complete U-turn, and now in the last year or two, you can research it. I mean, they're rolling out very, very crypto friendly regulations. Dubai's they set up zones where you basically get tax breaks if you set up crypto shop there and everything. So it's really booming. There's so much stuff coming. So to bridge those regions, it's going to be super powerful.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I'm super pumped about this project. When you guys, when I was
maybe you can come over here sometime. You know, we can tour these places and get there.
My wife wants to go to Asia on the next trip. I just told her that I wanted to this bull run at least for the next 12 months or so. I want to stay put. I want to be live streaming 4 nights a week, doing interviews like this with you, Mark, and focus on building. I want to focus on building, because traditionally what we have done is that we travel during the bull and we take a rest during the bear. Nah, that's the wrong way of looking at it. I think we work hard during the bull and then we go travel during the bear.
That's what I heard many people do. So I think that's a good strategy. Yes.
Yeah, this makes more sense, man.
Yes. Well, and I can travel around here for you, right? That's the idea of a decentralized network. We don't need to. We're going to specialize on bringing a lot of projects in, and we already have a lot of projects that want to get started immediately. So,
and I want to interview them all. I mean, I want to be one of the machines that's out there just interviewing these projects, bringing them to the forefront. Obviously, because I have a community of my own that owns lots of tokens. Like, look, Derek, he's got my stack of NFTs. There you go.
Fantastic. Awesome.
I always feel like I work for no permissions. I work for my community. So if I'm out there helping spread the word and helping making these projects better, maybe we all financially benefit in a large way. And I think that's what I can do as far as using my small little platform here to spread the word.
The goal is that we all benefit in that's what we all want to do here, right? And I maybe want to touch on that a little bit. So I do think these NFTs are very, very, very cheap right now. And I think that's how it is with Launchpads normally. As soon as a Launchpad becomes successful, it's almost impossible to get in, because then everybody wants to get those tokens that you need to lock up to get allocations. So to get into a good Launchpad is really in the beginning phases or during the bear market is the only way to get in. And the way we've structured it is that the forge on Pulsechain is going to be the first forge, and that's where we're building everything. Where the NFTs are Pulsechain forge specific, because what we've learned already is you need the community to really care about the projects that come in. It's not just about the projects, it's also about the projects supporting the ecosystem, you know. So we've had this friction in the beginning, you know, where some analysts came in and reviewed projects on Pulsechain, for example. And, you know, as many others, they have a very bad perception of Pulsechain. And then every project that's on top, they're just like 1 star, 1 star, 1 star. Some of them hate Ethereum as well. And they said, oh, this is a great project, but it's in Ethereum. But it's on Ethereum, it will fail. 1 star, you know. So you need to have a community around. That's so important, I think, in any decentralized system, is that you care about something together. And a big part here is that you want to draw great projects and build a very successful chain. Okay. So the NFTs, that's why they're 5,555, right? They are for the people who care about this ecosystem, and they care about the forge, and they make sure that it will succeed, right? But once they succeed, we want it to also succeed. We also want to build it on other ecosystems, right? But it will be the tokens that you get through the NFTs. They will be the same tokens used on every other forge, right? On every other ecosystem.
Interesting. Okay.
So just I don't know how I can say this, but you know, it's going to get more and more and more difficult to get those tokens, right? That you get through the NFTs just by holding the NFTs.
Okay, great. I'm gonna have to pick up a couple more. Rich just said that he's talking to his mom to buying the Launchpad. Look, Richard, just pick up a few. I mean, all you need, what we've talked about earlier in the show, is you need about four. So that's going to cost you a little over $500 to get 4 NFTs, and who knows what those are going to be worth in a couple of years. It could be quite a bit.
They're utility NFTs. They're not just art, right? They give you a share of all the tokens that come through. So just one really kick-ass project comes through, you just passively get those tokens into your wallet, and you wait for these projects to take off.
Yep.
It'd be really cool.
What happens if you guys don't sell out the 5555? How does that work? What's the time frame? And
we are moving. Everything's already built, right? So we're moving to launch the Forge anyways, version 1 in a few weeks. I don't want to give exact dates because things are always more difficult than they seem, but very soon we're launching, and then we're just going to move to a minting app.
Okay.
So we're gonna and then the people can continue buying the NFTs. So there's not really going to be a not selling out. Eventually, when the first really good projects come through the Forge, everyone will buy up the NFTs so they can get access to these projects. So It's going to happen sooner or later. It's just now is the only time to get them at a very good price. And of course, that gives us funds to, if we can sell out, the faster, the better we can sell out these NFTs, the more projects we can attract, the more everything gets kickstarted. So, that's part of the process.
Absolutely. So there is no set date when you stop selling the NFTs.
No, we will sell all of them out.
Okay. All right. Perfect.
Even if it takes a year or 2 years, that's fine.
Okay.
It's the entry ticket to the Forge. So it's just, this is now the cheap way to get them.
Okay. All right. Great. I'm all about that. That's a good idea. And that's quite a lot of Pulsechain. If you guys could sell it out, that gives you guys a nice foothold into the ecosystem. I like that. Exactly. And I do love the idea that Pulsechain is just the first one.
We want to change the whole space. It's horrendous what happens on all these Launchpads.
It's filthy. It's a filthy space, man.
Horrible.
We're a bunch of pirates.
It's not just crypto. It's the whole startup scene, everything. All the VCs they say 1 out of 100 projects survives, right? And the way the whole game is just, it's very, very dirty, and it creates very bad incentive systems where the VCs only invest in projects that kind of extract money from the market and basically steal it, So if you can create a much healthier funding environment, like a crowdfunding platform, I think it will just create much better projects, be much more profitable. I couldn't be more excited about it.
All right, great. I'm gonna have to take this video and edit it and resubmit it with just talking about the Forge, and have your links down below and those kind of things, because I think people are gonna look back and they're just like, dang, I wish I got in on this. I don't know how to implore people anymore. Like get a few NFTs, because you don't want to miss out on the first, second, third, fifth project where everyone comes out and it just goes rockets to the moon. You're not going to be able to get an NFT because people are going to be like, oh man, I want to be part of that.
That's how it is with these popular Launchpads. It's just simply impossible to get in now. One of my partners, Dan, he started out as an analyst on Curator. Now he's a partner, and he's invested in over 300 projects. And they created something called Covest, where they pooled money with a bunch of investors so they can get the top tier allocations in various platforms. So he's really kind of professional about this. They had over $1 million that they locked up. But in the top Launchpads, they still could not get in, even by pooling money together. So once a Launchpad takes off, it's really impossible to get in. So get a few NFTs to get a foothold in. If you're a whale, you can get a lot, because the more you get, the more allocations you will get in those projects later. It's really made for everyone. There is a bit of we have, at least in terms of governance, right? We skew it a little bit towards the smaller guys, because we don't want one big guy come in and kind of control everything.
Right.
So a little hint. so the voting power per NFT increases the longer you hold it. So in the future, not someone can come in and spend a few $1 million and pick up everything and start, controlling stuff. So yeah, it's a little bit skewed to the smaller guys, but there's lots of benefits if somebody wants to get a bigger chunk as well.
Okay, there's just something about this that just rubs me the right way. I like it, man. It's exciting to me. I want to be there. I like being there at the ground floor when projects launch. One of the things that I can't stand is having to sit there for a project to launch their token on a platform, and you're trying to rush through the door, and you get that 20x in the first day, then the price starts coming back down. Well, with this, you're getting your tokens no matter what. They're going to show up in your wallet. It might not be as much as you wanted, but you can also throw extra money at it as part of
investment.
Exactly. Do we have first dibs when it comes to investing as NFT holders?
No, you have the NFT holders. You're just a passive person. You just hold them and you just get the same share per NFT, right? So if you want more, you just need more NFTs and you get a share of all the tokens that come through. So you're not really picking the project. If you want to invest, you need to lock up the pure tokens that you get through the NFTs. Okay. So let's say you buy an NFT. Let's say you buy 10 NFTs, right? And then through that, we will give you pure tokens every month for a year. Right, and you can lock them up every time you get them, you lock them up. And the more you lock up, basically you get first dips in the projects. We will have a leaderboard of the top wallets, the top 10 wallets. I think we'll get, I don't have it, I don't remember it exactly, but the top 10 wallets will get 10% of the allocations from the projects. There's a big thing here. So on Pulsechain, they often do this unlimited sacrifices, which are really problematic because it inflates the token supply, right? But basically means anyone can get in. Right. Normal projects are not like that. They have a limited raise. They say, I'm going to raise $1 million or 100,000 or something like that. So people want to get in, but can't because there's not enough allocation. So that's why these allocations then get given to preferred investors. And that's why people usually have to lock up tokens. The more you lock up, the bigger allocations you get. In very, very hot projects, that can be very little. Sometimes people, Dan, again, he told a story. One of the 1,000 X's he did, he only got a $4 allocation, And then when it launched, he got, what was it? $1,000 back or something, and he wanted to invest more. I knew this was a great project, but I couldn't, right? So you needed to be a whale who has a lot of tokens locked up to get $1,000, something like that allocation. So the projects were very popular. They raised the funds, in a day, like in hours of launching. And that's why we have this roadshow. We first build the projects up for months, getting all this feedback from the analysts. Everybody knows about it. By that time, they can read the reviews. Then they go on this roadshow where they get presented to everyone. So the project is really hot. Then people can invest. So then it depends what your tier is, how many tokens you have compared to others. Then the projects get the money, and then boom, then they go with the hype, with the money, everything all going for them.
Man, this sounds like a diamond in the rough for folks that are jaded with the whole pursuit game, trying to get into these things and trying to get tokens. Well, here you're just going to get them. Just get yourself some NFTs and just sit on them. Ted's got a question. Is it better to keep several NFTs in one wallet or one NFT per wallet? Does it matter?
You can keep them all in one wallet. That's no problem at all.
All right. I might have to go double up my size of orange NFTs. We're still at the 100. Are we still at the $130 level right now?
Yes, we're still at $130. I think there's another. Fantastic, Luna. Thanks. I think we have about 200 left in the $130, and then it goes up after that.
Okay. All right. Well, I gotta. causing FOMO in Randy, and that's not good. I make bad decisions when I make emotional decisions.
Hopefully, we will soon make these decisions all together. I do agree. Taking this FOMO out of things and being more, about the fundamentals of the project, and also not just, doing things in hype cycles. Like we want to build projects that last for years, right? And that build for years. And that's something that crypto itself needs to be. There's all these other categories like real world assets, security tokens, all of these things. Once they come, any business can become a tokenized business. They can be real businesses that are running, that have revenues, that want to tokenize these revenues, get investments. These projects can also come to the Forge.
Absolutely. Man, got my brain running. Okay, so let's look at it going forward here. So you're welcome to come on the show like once every other week or so and give us some updates. And once the projects start going, I want to start the ones I'm interested in. Obviously, I want to interview because I'm not going to be interested in all of them. That's just the nature of the game. Yeah. But most of them, I would love to do it. And I really want to do this crossing the bridge with the Asian community. I really want to are building a bridge with the Asian community because I think that's really what Pulsechain needs, that extra infusion, not just capital, but users, bringing in 100,000 more wallets, those type of things, people getting excited about what's happening on Pulsechain. And I don't mind being an ambassador for Pulsechain. It's, it's EVM. It's a great working EVM. It's never been down. It's a layer 1. Anytime there's an Ethereum update, we get the Ethereum update. No one else can say that. So, it's really good that you guys came to Pulsechain first, and Pulsechain, the community itself is pretty wealthy, so we're here to support and help do raises.
Crazy. Nobody even knows about these things, like how much money got thrown, just the Pulsechain sacrifice on its own, right? It was one of the biggest fundraise ever, anywhere for anything, And people have no idea about it. It's crazy. And then all the projects that came after that, was liquid loans and all these projects, how much money they raise. It's insane.
54 million. I think they did 54 million for liquid loans.
Yeah, it's crazy, So once projects start to realize the financial power that is here, also the freedom that is on the chain, I think there's a lot of the core crypto decentralized values that are very strong here. So projects who want to build on that, I think they will be very excited to come here.
And the fact that you could all you have to do is have some liquidity and your coin is up and running. Back when I was launching projects in 16, 17, 18, you had to kiss the ass of Binance or some of these other exchanges and pay $500,000 to get your coin listed. That does not happen anymore. On a decentralized community like we have at Pulsechain, all you need is a couple $100 worth of liquidity and you can start. I'm not saying that's ideal, but you can start there,
it's amazing. I mean, that's what Hoa did, right? They started with $6. I mean, unbelievable. Went to millions. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
I mean,
all right, Mark. Give us your parting thoughts here, and so we can wrap up.
Well, I don't know. I just want to say, thanks a lot for the really super nice stream. Hopefully, we'll get lots of people coming on board with NFTs, and I cannot wait to start having the first projects come through and launch through this.
Sam over here, I think we got a Swiss gentleman.
Yeah. Hey, hello. Nice.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. We appreciate everybody coming out. I'm going to edit this one out and put a new cover image and make it just a regular video, not a live stream. So thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
Fantastic so much. Okay. Bye-bye.
Ciao.